"Keep quiet. You're not going to Rome," my father growled after swiping my $10,000 travel fund. "Then get ready for a courtroom," I shot back, locking their bank accounts and filing a theft claim. "I'm really looking forward to my trip next week," I added. My dad didn't even glance up from his phone. "We already vacationed in Bali without you last month." I stood frozen, unsure if I'd heard correctly. Then he looked up, smirked slightly, and said, "Yeah, it was a spur-of-the-moment thing. Just us. Your mom thought you wouldn't mind." My mother was across the room, slipping off her flip-flops. Her skin was bronzed, her hair a shade lighter. Definitely not from staying in Ohio in April. "You spent the money I saved for my trip?" I asked, more stunned than furious. My dad chuckled like I'd said something hilarious. "Well, you weren't using it, were you?" I stood in the living room doorway, clutching the envelope I'd just picked up from the travel agency. Inside was my dream. 2 weeks in Rome. I'd planned it for a year. Every paycheck I set aside cash. I stopped eating out, skipped nights out, even sold old electronics. I was 2 weeks from departure, and now they were saying the money was gone. But I didn't lose it. Not this time. Not after years of being the overlooked kid. The invisible one. "Fine," I said coolly, tucking the envelope into my bag. "Just know, court records are public now." That stopped him cold. His phone slipped from his grip and hit the floor. My mom spun around, her face ashen. "What? What are you saying?" she stammered. I gave a smile, not the forced one I used at family gatherings. This one was genuine. Icy sharp. "I mean, it'd be unfortunate if certain people saw those transactions, especially since you moved the money without my consent. You know I'm the primary owner of that account, right?" My dad's mouth opened, then closed, like a fish gasping for air. "Calm down," I said, strolling to the kitchen and grabbing a soda from the fridge like it was mine. Because legally, it kind of was. "For now, let's just say I haven't reported anything." The room fell silent. My mom looked like she wanted to scream but held back. She always went quiet when she knew she'd lost control. I headed for the stairs, pausing to look back. "I hope Bali was worth it, because what's coming next?" I tilted my head, voice steady but chilling. "You're facing serious legal consequences. Get a lawyer before this gets uglier." I used to think my family cared, not loved me or treated me like I mattered, just cared enough to see me as human, as part of the family, not just a cash machine for their bills. I was mistaken. Taking my travel money wasn't just crossing a boundary, it was torching it. Let me explain. A year ago, I moved back home to save for my dream trip to Rome. I had it all mapped out. Work hard, save up, and finally do something for myself. I told them about it up front. My dad shrugged, uninterested. My mom flashed her usual fake smile, the one she uses to keep me quiet and compliant. I was earning well. I worked grueling hours at a city law firm, barely sleeping. I gave up everything. No new shoes, no weekend getaways, no takeout, no online purchases, not even a streaming service. I was disciplined. Every cent went into that savings fund. I even let my mom set up the account at her bank. She said, "It'll earn better interest, honey. I'll take care of it." That was my error. While I slaved through 70-hour weeks and lived like a hermit, they were sipping tropical drinks on a luxury yacht in Bali. Yes, a yacht. I discovered the evidence by chance. My sister, clever as always, shared photos on her private story, thinking I wouldn't see. But I did. And they weren't subtle. Glasses of sparkling drinks, beach bonfires, jet skis. One image showed my dad handing a waiter a $200 tip. My $200. I saved every screenshot. But the worst wasn't the money, it was their audacity. They acted like I owed them, like I should be grateful they splurged. "A little fun keeps the family happy," my mom said one evening when I confronted her. "We didn't think you'd mind. You're not the impulsive type." I laughed in her face. "You mean I'm not reckless?" She flinched like I'd struck her. Later, in the garage, my dad cornered me, arms folded, jaw tight. "You don't get how hard it is to be a parent," he said. "Everything we do is for the family." "No," I snapped. "Everything you do is for yourselves. You took my money without asking. That's theft." "We didn't steal," he roared. "We borrowed it. You weren't even using it." "Then why not tell me?" I stepped closer, my anger flaring like a spark in my chest. "Because we knew you'd overreact," he exploded. "You're so dramatic, always playing the victim like we're out to ruin you." But it was never just about the money. It was how they viewed me. I was the reliable one, the quiet one, the one who fixed their messes. I paid my sister's rent when she blew her paycheck on clothes. I covered the deposit for my dad's new SUV when his credit was shot. I quietly settled a $7,000 medical bill when my mom needed emergency surgery, and she still mocked it at Christmas dinner. "You're our little money savior," she giggled as everyone laughed. They never recalled what I gave. They only noticed what I held back, and now I saw it clearly. They never intended to repay me. They didn't value my dreams. They didn't respect me. To them, I was just the foolish, dependable ATM who never pushed back. Until now. I said I'd pursue legal action. Something shifted in their eyes. My dad looked uneasy. My mom paled. They knew what they did wasn't just wrong. It was criminal. But what stunned me most, 2 days later, my mom walked into my room with a cake. No apology, no money, just a cake. She set it on my desk like it was a peace offering. "Your favorite," she said with a faint smile. I stared at her like she was a hollow statue, fragile and empty. "You think a chocolate cake fixes grand theft?" I asked, sliding it back toward her. Her smile cracked. "Stop being so dramatic. We're family." I stood, walked to my desk, and pulled out a folder labeled Proof, stuffed with screenshots, bank statements, and photos. I dropped it on the table with a heavy thud. "Start treating me like an outsider," I said, "because I'm about to treat you like one." Then I left the room, past her stunned face, past my dad eavesdropping at the top of the stairs, past the version of me who used to let this slide. That version was dead. Next week I was supposed to fly to Tokyo. Now I was ready to tear down their web of deceit. It started with a knock, soft, steady, deliberate, at the front door, the kind that twists your gut before you know why. I was in the kitchen, sipping coffee, planning my move-out date. I'd already decided to leave. It was just a matter of when. I glanced through the blinds. A man in a dark suit holding a folder, face blank, not a delivery guy, a process server. I opened the door. "Are you Daniel Carter?" "Yes." "You've been served." He handed me an envelope and left like he'd just dropped off mail. Inside, court papers, a civil lawsuit, charges detailed, unauthorized withdrawal of $9,700, misuse of a joint account, violation of financial rights filed by me against my parents. I turned and my mom was behind me in her bathrobe, face white. "What's that?" she asked, voice trembling. I tossed the envelope on the hall table. "Exactly what it looks like." Her hands shook. "You're suing us?" "I warned you," I said evenly. "I gave you time. I gave you a chance." "We're your parents," she hissed, voice rising. "You're criminals," I fired back. "Real parents don't drain their kids' account to sip cocktails and get spa treatments in Bali." My dad walked in, adjusting his tie. "What's happening?" "Check the table," I said, sipping my coffee. He grabbed the envelope, scanned the first page, and erupted. "Have you lost your senses? You're suing us? Do you know how this looks?" "Yes," I said. "It looks like accountability." "You're insane," he shouted. "You want to humiliate us over one trip?" "That trip was my only goal all year," I said, jaw tight. "It wasn't yours to take." "We gave you everything," he yelled. "You think this house runs itself, and now you act like we owe you for some foolish vacation." "Grow up." "Grow up?" I stepped closer. "You forgot my name. You took money from an account I opened myself. You used my identity. I could have you arrested." My mom gasped. "You wouldn't," she said. "Test me." The room went still. You could feel the moment they realized I wasn't bluffing. Then came the theatrics. My mom collapsed onto the couch like she'd been wounded. "I can't believe you're doing this," she said, eyes wide. "After all we've done for you." "Save it," I said coldly. "You didn't do anything except use me for your own gain." My dad was livid, face red, fists clenched. "You want to play hardball? Fine. But don't think this ends in your favor. Family courts don't like ungrateful kids suing their parents." I raised an eyebrow. "This isn't family court. It's civil court. And I've got evidence. Bank records, screenshots, the original account documents with only my name." His jaw tightened. "And I've got the emails," I added. "You know, the ones where Mom wrote, 'Don't worry, he'll never notice. He's too soft to fight back.'" Mom's head jerked toward me. "You read our emails?" "I didn't hack anything," I said. "You used my old tablet, remember? The one that syncs all your accounts." She went quiet. I turned and headed upstairs. "You have 30 days to respond. Then the case moves forward." "Dan, wait," my mom called. "Can we just talk?" "No more talking," I said. "No more cakes, no more manipulation, no more lies." She sobbed. "We're family. Families don't do this." "Exactly," I said, pausing at the top step. "But you did. So what does that make you?" That night, they held a family meeting in the living room. I didn't attend, but I heard every word through the vents. They whispered about how I'd changed, blamed social media, said I'd always been too emotional. My dad said they'd call our uncle, the attorney, to intimidate me, but it didn't matter. I'd already filed the case in my name with all the evidence through a legal aid group that helps victims of family financial abuse. And I wasn't backing down. The next morning, I booked a hotel. I packed my bags. Before leaving, I left one last envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside was a single note. The amount you stole, $10,000, the cost of losing me, immeasurable. Then I walked out. Let them shout, let them rage, let them sit in the silence I left behind. Because this wasn't just about the money anymore. This was about me. And for the first time, I wasn't asking permission to exist. I left in total silence that night. No one tried to stop me. No tears, no embraces, just the sound of my suitcase wheels and the echo of me finally breaking free. The hotel was modest but tidy. Clean linens, quiet, a private bathroom. No sharing, no tension, no judgment. That first night, without my dad's constant demands or my mom's silent guilt, I slept for 10 hours straight. No nightmares about deadlines, no anxiety about tomorrow. Just calm. I woke to a call. I knew who it was. Mom, 4 missed calls, 2 voicemails, 7 texts. Each began with, "You should be ashamed." Each ended with, "You'll regret this." I didn't reply. I didn't even read them. I just brewed coffee. By day 2, they sent others to reach me. My mom's friends, her brother, even a cousin from Texas I hadn't seen in years. They all said the same thing. "They're your family. Have you lost your mind, suing your parents? What's wrong with you?" I saved every message. I only responded to 2. Aunt Lisa texted, "I know they messed up, but isn't this extreme?" I replied, "They stole my money, lied, and acted like it was nothing. This isn't extreme, it's called consequences." By day 3, the silence broke. A call from their lawyer. They wanted to settle. He offered half the money. "Half?" I repeated. "Is this a prank?" "It's a gesture of goodwill," he said. My goodwill was not pressing charges. I shot back. "You've got 3 days, full amount, or I go public." I wasn't bluffing. I'd already contacted a local reporter who covers family financial disputes. She loved stories about betrayal and money. On day 4, my mom showed up at the hotel, knocking on my door. I didn't open it right away. "I'm not here to argue," she said through the door. "I just want to talk." I let her in. She looked different. No makeup, no fake smile, just exhausted. "We didn't think you'd go this far," she said softly. "I warned you," I replied, voice steady. "This will destroy our family." I nodded. "Your choices already did." She sat on the bed's edge. "Your father hasn't slept. He's angry, but really, he's scared." "He should be," I said. "We can return the money, all of it." "But?" I asked. "You have to drop the case. You have to forgive us," she said. I stayed silent. "You've made mistakes too," she added. "Maybe this was just a mix-up." I let out a sharp laugh, not because it was funny, but because it was absurd. "This wasn't a mix-up, Mom. This was theft. You planned it. You chose it. And now you want forgiveness?" I stood and looked her in the eyes. "I want every cent back, plus compensation for the stress, and then I want you both out of my life." She looked away. "So you're cutting us off over a few $1,000s?" she asked. "No," I said. "I'm cutting you off for me." She left. I called my lawyer and said I'd settle, but only for the full amount and a written apology. No apology, no deal. Then we'd go to court. On day 5, the money arrived. $10,000 plus $500 for emotional distress. The note read, "Private settlement, no admission of fault." I laughed. Even now, they couldn't say, "Sorry." I didn't care anymore. I booked my trip to Tokyo. May 17th, the day I'd start living. The flight to Tokyo was peaceful. No crying kids, no chatty passengers, just the hum of the plane and the growing sense of freedom. I looked out the window as we soared above the clouds and whispered, "You did it." I wasn't talking about the trip. I meant escaping them. For 3 weeks in Italy, I saw things I never imagined seeing. Sunsets over the Colosseum, rugged coastal cliffs, espresso that tasted like paradise. I met people who smiled sincerely, who said thank you, and meant it. I danced at a street festival in Sorrento. I teared up in front of a Bernini sculpture. I let the ocean breeze remind me what freedom felt like, and I didn't think about my parents. Well, maybe once. On day 5, I checked my email. There it was. "Can we talk?" From my dad. I laughed, a deep, bitter laugh from someone who once cared too much. I didn't open it. Days later, another email. "We miss you," from my mom. She attached a photo of her, my dad, and my sister on the porch. No smiles, no warmth, just hollow faces of people who realized the cash flow was gone, the scapegoat had left, and their control was over. I didn't reply. Instead, I posted a photo of myself on a rooftop in Venice. Mango juice in hand, the city shimmering behind me. Caption, unbothered, untethered, unapologetic. Comments poured in. Old friends, former colleagues, even strangers. You look liberated. Your transformation is incredible. What's your secret? I smiled and replied to one, freedom costs a lot, but it's worth every cent. When I returned, I moved into a quiet apartment by the lake. No roommates, no parents, no tension in the air, just space that was mine. I painted my bedroom walls a deep indigo. At night, I burned incense just because I wanted to. Every Saturday, I bought fresh roses and cooked dinner for myself like it was a ritual. No passive-aggressive notes on my fridge, no old scents in my closet reminding me of years of being controlled. I started painting again, something I hadn't done since I was 16. It flowed naturally, like I'd never stopped. Strokes became forms, forms became faces, and often I realized I was painting versions of myself I'd never dared to be until now. But the best part? I stayed silent. No calls, no texts. Was that cold? Maybe. But no, I wasn't cruel. I was finally being just. And Karma, she's quiet too. 2 months after the settlement, I got a text from an unknown number. Hey, thanks for what you did. I'm Ethan, your cousin. I cut them off too after what they did to you. I never had the guts to stand up. But you did. You showed us it was okay. I stared at the screen. Another message followed. My parents always said you were odd. Now I think you were just the first to break free. Then another, unexpected, from Sarah, my sister's friend. I barely knew her, but she wrote, your mom told everyone you were selfish, that you'd lost it. But I remember when she took your money after your dad's surgery and used it to remodel the bathroom. You weren't crazy. You were just done. I didn't reply to any of them. I didn't need to. But I saved each message in a folder labeled Evidence of Liberation. Then, one rainy November night, I got a voicemail. My mom's voice. I hadn't heard it since the hotel. We're selling the house, she said. It feels too empty now. Your sister hardly visits. Your father barely talks. I don't expect a reply. I just wanted you to know you got what you wanted. You won. I stared at my phone. I survived. Winning would mean they changed. Surviving meant I did. I blocked her number. That was the final play in a long, twisted game of manipulation and control. And I didn't do it out of spite, not even anger, just calm, clear finality. That night, I walked to the window. Outside, the city glowed under soft streetlights and steady rain. I sat on the ledge and poured a glass of mango juice. Somewhere nearby, a couple argued. A neighbor played quiet jazz from their balcony. I looked out and whispered to the kid I used to be, they didn't destroy you. You became who I am now. And this was just the start. The storm was over. Now there was only peace. So, what are your thoughts on this story? Do you agree with what happened, or do you see it differently? Let us know your opinion in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our upcoming stories. See you in the next one.